Today, India is the fifth largest economy. And what's driving this? The entrepreneurs. One of the reasons is the rise of entrepreneurs. And to talk more about the self made entrepreneurs, we have here with us Anas Rahman Junaid of the Hurun India. Anas, I want to start by asking you that what do you think has changed in the past 10 years that has led to the growth of entrepreneurship, self made entrepreneurships uh, in India?
I think the most of the growth, if you ask me from the technology standpoint, it's really happened in the last 10, 12 years. I would also give credit to Prime Minister Modi Startup India, Stand Up India scheme, wherein there was first time a leader of that stature is coming to the country and saying, "Oh, startups, come on, build something." That's really had an impact. Then also availability of internet. I would give a lot of credit to Mr. Ambani and the Geo and how it made internet accessible to so many people, not from the founders building these companies, but also the consumers who can use these facilities in a much more economical fashion. And of course, third, the availability of capital, India in ease of capital and the commitment from the ecosystem to ensure that the building a business in India is cool. So all these things would have played a huge role in the last 10, 12 years in terms of innovation, right? And even if you look at the list that was launched today, which is the IDFC first private tour in India self-made entrepreneurs of the millennium, that list, there also the 81% of the list are from the technology and the new age innovation, those kind of business, and all that happened in the last sort of 25 years. Since you spoke about 10 years, right? We have a number here in the list. The 10 in the list, we have about 97 companies which were founded in just under 10 years. They were not existent. And if you look at the total value of those business, that is rupees 11 crores of those 97 companies. And they employ about 1.3 lakh people. So 10 years back, the value was not there, their employment was not there. So much has happened in the country over the last 10, 12 years, especially from a startup ecosystem standpoint. That would be my.
Also, the sectors you said that tech is sort of leading the whole self-made entrepreneurs list. Do you see any other sectors, and also how is it different from the rich list? If you could tell on the trends of that.
Rich list, it includes everyone, self-made, family-run, next-gen, all that stuff. Even if you look at from an Indian context, from the rich list standpoint, almost 60% of the rich list is above 60 years and above, right? And more, and almost 70% of the rich list is second generation and above. So a lot of family-run businesses there, right? But when it comes to this list, most of them have started something with a fresh slate. It's quite bubbling and faster sort of value creation when it comes to the entrepreneurs of this millennia, is what we found. Um, but for my, and then just to give you one more number, about 80 of the list that we launched today feature in the rich list as well. So both are 80 now, 80 people, 80 people in the IDFC first private Hurun list. They feature in the rich list as well. So it is a very complementary sort of thing. The traditional business is very much required for the manufacturing ecosystem of India, which is the backbone of the country. And for a country like India, that is extremely important. And these set of entrepreneurs, most of them are extremely important from having a technology leadership, which involves a lot of new ideas, which is asset light and so on. So that combination would really take India forward, is what I think. Yeah.
And how many of the self-made entrepreneurs are also in the philanthropy list?
I'm sure there are a lot more self-made entrepreneurs who are in the philanthropy list. For example, the founders of Infosys, but they don't feature in this list because our methodology is any companies founded after the year 2000. But there are still 5 founders who have built business over the last 25 years who's featured in the philanthropy list. And mind you, the Indian startup has not seen that series of exit and the liquidity events, right? So hopefully in the next 5-10 years, when the liquidity events of startups happen, they have amazing role models who can learn from in terms of getting actively into philanthropy, looking at bolder causes. And I really would like to see this breed of entrepreneurs getting into philanthropy because they champion causes that may not yield results immediately, It might come after 10, 15 years. Be it Kamath Brothers, they're looking at climate change, right? Causes like that. So it's very exciting from that standpoint. Yeah.
And which are the new cities? Like we know that Bangalore is on top, and then it's Mumbai. And which are the upcoming new cities where you see more self-made entrepreneurs coming from?
Everywhere in India. But in this list, we have entrants from Pune, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, a lot of cities. So, and from about 15 states. So we have entrants from across 15 states who feature in the list across various cities. But Bangalore continues to be the capital for self-made entrepreneurship.
And why do you think that is so? Because Bengaluru, we be hearing like from so many years, it's really at the forefront.
Yeah.
Uh,
So Bangalore is a Silicon Valley of India, or the startup capital of India. There is an amazing ecosystem of tech founders and investors who are in Bangalore. And the one thing that you would see in a Bangalore culture is a paid forward culture. So these startup founders who are there, who build successful enterprises, they're very much actively looking at nurturing more startups, supporting them. Either through investing, through mentoring, so that the ecosystem is very, very aggressively growing, and a lot of credit to the founders. In fact, the OG founders of India, the Infosys or the Wipro, they're all based in Bangalore, right? So there is a very good entrepreneurial culture that's flown from them to, let's say, a very, very, very much there. And the paid forward attitude, right? So that is definitely there in Bangalore.
so, which are the new sectors or which are the new places where you see the entrepreneurs coming from, and which companies can they sort of launch in the coming years? Where do you see the trend?
I think, of course, cucumbers is on fire now. It's very much spoken about in the media, but I do expect and hope that we have more entrepreneurs coming from space tech, or let's say AI, semiconductor, 5G. These kind of sectors we really have to have uh, dominance. If India does not catch up on these sectors, this is a huge gap that we'll again have to work hard to fill. But that's again where the entrepreneurs come into picture and the governments come into picture, right? They're all working hard towards promoting these startups, having programs. I think the space fund by the government, so all that's going to play a huge role in having more such companies. So my dream is in 5 years from now, if we do a list like this, at least 50 of them, if they come from the sectors that I mentioned, that'll be awesome.
And globally, how do you see that trend is changing with India and say the US,
It's
China?
doing very well. So the AI has got so many startups. They take semiconductor, or let's say space tech, or green tech. China has so many companies. Things like low altitude economy, which is the drones and the ecosystem around it. China's done so well on that. So doing much better. But cucumbers, we are number one, I think. In The jokes apart, I think that we have a very interesting demography. We have a rising youngest population, rising income level in terms of middle class, and all that combined together, and liquidity events by our own homegrown entrepreneurs, which would mean that they would put money back into the ecosystem, be as an investor and so on. Next 10 years is going to be exciting. Yeah.
Hope to see that. Thank you for those insights. That was all. Thank you, Anas.
Thank you. Thank you.